Hello, my name is Cheryl Skynar. I am the founder and owner of Skynar Bookkeeping Services, where we pride ourselves on QuickBooks setup, cleanup, and keep up. Now let's see how I can help you today. Okay, I've got a question from a client today who is wanting to apply the sale of a piece of their equipment to one of their vendors in lieu of actually paying them. So they owe the vendor a set amount. They're going to pay part in cash, and the other part is going to be actually a trade of a piece of equipment for agreed upon value. So to do that, we're going to use the sample company, and we're going to use Lips Pool Supplies. We owe them a total of $57,938. We're going to pay a portion of this in cash, and the other portion is going to be the sale of equipment to them. So to do this, the first thing that you would want to do is create a journal entry. I typically tell my clients not to use journal entries because everyone gets confused whether it's a debit or a credit, and there's other inherent problems that can happen with a journal entry. But for this situation, it really is the quickest way to do it. So we're going to go to Company, Make Journal Entry. Now, when making a journal entry, the first thing you have to ask yourself are what accounts are being affected. So we know one of them is going to be accounts payable because we're going to reduce the amount that we owe our vendor. And the other one is going to be our asset account. In this case, we're going to say that we're selling them one of our trucks that we have. So a little known fact about desktop is QuickBooks Desktop is not like accounts payable or accounts receivable on this top line. It will accept it, but you will wind up having problems in the future, possibly, with your balance sheet not balancing. If you ever encounter that problem, this is one place to look to see if accounts payable or receivable was used as a top line of a journal entry. So we're not going to do that here, but we are going to use our automobiles, our asset account. Now we are going to credit this, the $6,000 that we have agreed is the value of the vehicle that we're selling to Lips Pool Supplies. And I would put in the memo a reference to that effect. All right, I would reference the name Lips Pool Supplies here. And now down here, I'm going to choose my accounts payable. It defaults to the same amount. The memo defaults. Here I have to use Lips Pool Supplies, but you do want it on both lines. So if you ever look at one or the other of the lines, it's referenced to the right vendor. Let's save and close. All right, if we look at our automobiles and trucks now, we see that the value of this has decreased. Your accountant is going to want to make an appropriate journal entry at the end of the year when he determines the actual value that's left of the asset that you're disposing of, and then either mark a profit or a loss on that asset. We're not going to address that right here. We're just trying to get this transaction recorded to the appropriate vendor. So now if we look at our open balance for our vendor, we see the open bills that we have, and then we see this journal entry that is out there as well. What I want to do now is actually pay this vendor the actual cash that I've told him I'll pay him. Select the first line of the invoice that you want to pay, and you'll notice that $6,000 credit automatically gets applied. This is a feature that's on the newer versions of QuickBooks, I believe 2014, 15, and 16. If you're using an older version, you might have to come down here and hit Set Credits and select the credit. Then you will select any other invoices that you've agreed to pay, and then hit Pay Selected. Now you see those open bills have been removed from the open balance, as well as the credit that we created earlier. There you have it. This is an example of how to apply an asset that you're selling to a vendor, as well as an actual payment. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. This has been Cheryl Skynar, Skynar Bookkeeping Services, QuickBooks Setup, Cleanup, and Keep Up.